twisted minds unique.
I know, I'm stupid. It's fine. What is up, horror hounds and ocean oddities? Welcome back to another episode of Slash Sisters. I'm Slash Sister Hallie. We've been doing multiple takes of this, trying because we got new mics.
We did. Look. They're cool. Anyways, I'm Slash Sister Jen, and tonight we are heading back to Amity Island, where tourism is high and shark attacks are even higher.
That's right, folks. Just when you thought it was safe to watch another horror movie review, nope. We are bringing you back to Amity Island for diving into Jaws 2, the infamous sequel to the legendary film that made you afraid to dip a toe into the water.
And what better way to visit the franchise again on its 50th anniversary of the original Jaws.
Well, technically we're about a week and a half late.
Yeah, but that's okay.
I mean, they were opening Amity Island for the 4th of July celebration.
Exactly.
So, happy 4th of July,
Happy 4th of July! Half a century since Bruce the Shark ruined summer vacations forever.
Hello, Bruce.
You smell something.
Fish all friends, not
food.
This is gonna sue already.
After last week? Yeah, they are.
Oh, hey, would you look at that? Different clothes in the same video. Oh, whatever. Well, this was supposed to come in before we recorded Jaws 2 movie review. So, yeah. Unboxing the horrors.
You know what's funny is that she didn't tell me what it was, but now I remember her telling me that she was getting this, and I know what it is now. So, let's unbox this horror.
Yes, let's.
Here you go. We'll tape for you.
Here. Get out there.
So freaking cool, you guys. Oh my gosh.
You can't celebrate the 50th anniversary without Bruce!
Brucey! Let's see you. Ah, he's so cool. It's a popcorn bucket, you guys. Oh, we got more tape. Yeah, there you go. That is so freaking cool. I promise you, next time we review a Jaws movie, which is going to be Jaws 3D, we will 3D the fuck out of you guys and fill it with popcorn. Why not?
Probably not popcorn. Maybe set the movie in his mouth.
That's a good idea. He's cute.
Now we gotta find a spot to put him on the set.
This is a never-ending problem, trying to find places to put things on our set because we have so much cool stuff. Stay tuned because we're going to give you another view of our set sometime very, very soon.
Jaws 2 had some big teeth to fill, so did it sink, swim, or just belly flop and is gasping for relevance?
We're talking bigger boats, teen screams, and a mayor who somehow still has not learned his lesson.
You know, it annoys me to no fucking end that they do not believe Brody.
I know.
I mean,
I know.
He did shoot up a beach.
Yeah. Almost damn near shot a kid.
Yeah, so grab your sunscreen, your spear gun, and maybe a trauma counselor because...
it's time to slash into Jaws 2.
And hey, before we get devoured by nostalgia, or is this nostalgia? I mean, Jaws 2, nostalgia, really?
I mean, 1978, yeah. It was before we were born, so...
Not my nostalgia, then.
No, it's somebody's.
And Shark sequels, make sure to like and slash that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on anything we're doing, and you can stay up to date on all of our killer reviews.
We drop horror deep cuts, cult classics, and occasional cinematic crime every single week.
All right, you ready to sink your teeth into this?
Let's take a bite.
It's time to set the hook.
Yes, yes. 4 years after the killing of the great white shark we know as Bruce, a new hotel has opened on Amity Island.
Did you happen to notice at one point, it's later in the film, Brody's sitting in his like study in the house or whatever, and he's got like a trophy for killing the fucking shark.
Hey man, somebody had to kill him.
No, I know. It's just I find it hilarious.
I'm
that
sure that
trophy.
mayor was like, here's a trophy for you. Good job, bud.
I'm sure. Meanwhile, another great white shark kills 2 scuba divers photographing the wreckage of the Orca.
Yeah, the Orca
Why the
is the
fuck would they
boat
do
that
that?
was. Yeah, why?
Yeah, as Jenny was so trying to point out before I interrupted her, the Orca was Quint's boat from the first film, where he got swallowed whole by the shark.
He sure did. So yeah, they're there photographing the wreckage, and we don't see a shark, but they are attacked. And their camera is strapped to the water.
The camera zooms in on them from a point of view of what appears to be a shark.
Right, correct.
Because, I mean... You're watching Jaws too. Of course it's a fucking shark.
Right. Their camera, which did take pictures during the attack, is later recovered by Deputy Jeff Hendricks, who was in the first film.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Mayor, Brody, Hendricks, and
Brody's wife
all reprised their roles, and I think there might be one other actor. I cannot remember. You would think that we would know these things.
Carrying on.
The next day, the shark kills a water skier before attacking the pilot of a boat. Pilot?
Well,
Captain?
yeah, I mean...
Pilot? I didn't know boats had pilots.
You know, yeah, I mean, you pilot a boat.
Okay. All right.
You do.
Who attempts self-defense by using a gas tank and a flare gun, but the boat explodes, killing her and severely burning the shark's face.
Yeah, this is
Which
really
is actually-
kind of funny.
Yeah. So the burnt shark is actually kind of a nod to Universal Studios. Because after this bomb success of Jaws, they took the actual the actual Orca, put it in like the Universal Studios tour, and they had a shark in there that for some unforeseen reason had a burnt face, even though it didn't get burnt in the first film.
Makes sense.
So it's a nod to the actual tour ride, not the...
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Stupid, but yeah.
So a killer whale carcass is found, an orca carcass, is found on the beach. And, of course, Police Chief Mr. Martin Brody,
Played by Roy Schneider,
believes that a shark is responsible.
Better check the bite radius.
What?
You know, he wasn't even going to come back for this.
No, he would. Well, and Richard Dreyfuss did not come back for this.
Richard Dreyfuss didn't come back. Roy Schneider did not want to come back, but he was having problems on another film that he was working on with Universal between Jaws and Jaws 2, and he was locked into a 3-picture deal with Universal, and they basically said, look, you do this film, we'll call it square. He's like, all right, fine, fuck it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
He did not want to do it.
Pardon me, I need a beverage, guys. I need a little drink.
No, that's not cue for a sponsor.
Yeah.
I know that dolphins communicate. I mean, they send signals. You don't think that if a shark was destroyed, that another shark could come in?
Sharks don't take things personally, Mr. Brody.
So, so Brody is like, okay, we've got another
I think we may have another shark problem. Are you serious?
problem. It's been, 4 years now since the first one? Okay.
He then finds floating debris from a destroyed speedboat and the boat's boat pilots. It's a weird terminology.
The boat captain, sure.
Right,
You can call it the boat captain.
Burnt remains. Yeah.
He then calls Matt Hooper for assistance.
He's on the research vessel Aurora.
But he's off in Antarctica on a research expedition.
On that voyage that he was supposed to go on in the first one.
Exactly.
They name dropped the same vessel.
The Aurora?
I think that's it. Yeah. Brody prohibits his now 17-year-old son because he was
in 4 years he aged by
like 6, 7 years. Yeah.
Because he was definitely like 10 years old in the first movie.
Oh, shit. Mike, from boating out of concern for his safety, also forces him to get a summer
Yeah,
job.
he's like, you need to get a job.
Well, because he's like, I think he's gone away to school or whatever, and he's
Yeah.
back for the summer on Amity Island.
Yeah. The following day, though, Brody watches from the beach. It's very... Okay, let me just say that this movie is basically just a carbon copy of the first one. I mean, not a carbon copy. There's more kills.
There's more kills.
It's a little bit more brutal.
The director, for life of me, I cannot remember his
Oh,
name.
yeah, I
Give
can't
me-
remember his
give
name
me
either.
Just a second. It's like French. Jeannot Zorak or whatever.
Yeah.
So he stepped into it because Spielberg, at the time, said, "I do not see the point in doing sequels."
Yeah.
20 years later, he would actually. do a
Yes,
sequel.
yes. Spielberg's done plenty of sequels. Hasn't he? Maybe not?
Lost World's about the only one I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay. Fair enough. But honestly, like, there's really, in my opinion, there's really nothing left at the end of the film
Well,
to reason a second film.
Right, and the director, whose name I just pronounced, I'm not going to try to repronounce that again, said, well, we did the first one, they did the first one and they didn't show the shark. I wanted to show the shark up front and present and make it aware that it is a shark doing all of this from the get.
Okay. But I think the
Which-
first one's scarier. Anyways.
No, the first one is scary because of that fact, and that was due to the malfunctioning of the shark.
Yeah.
This one, the shark looks really big.
Yeah. Which is why they didn't really use it very much in the first one, which is why it made it scarier.
Well, no, they didn't use it very much in the first one.
Because of malfunctioning. But even then, like,
right.
Fake sharks don't look real. Anyways, the following day, though, Brody is at the beach
In his
in a
watchtower.
very similar way to when he was like sitting at the beach with his sunglasses on and rips his fucking sunglasses off. But yeah, he's up in the watchtower and he sees this mass, which he assumes is a shark, and comes down with like what kind of bullets does he put? Poison in his bullets?
So yeah, he takes like some type of like blue poison and pours it into like the hollow point of his projectile, and then uses wax to seal it.
Can somebody get this man a fucking straitjacket or something, please? I mean, he's not wrong, but he does fucking cause a problem, though, because he starts shooting at the beach, at the water, and there's like a fisherman out there that's like, it's bluefish!
Just bluefish!
And like, literally, he almost shoots a kid right in the face. Like,
Almost.
come on.
However, his fears are confirmed when photos from the diver's camera are processed, and one of them shows a close-up of the shark's face. However,
Sorta.
I mean, it's
Ish.
ish.
Enough for us to go, oh yeah, that's a shark. But enough for the city council and the mayor to be like, that ain't no shark.
The mayor and the owner of the hotel.
Nah, that ain't no shark. That's just a piece of broken glass. Sorry. When he presents it to Amity Town Council, they refuse to believe it's a shark and vote Brody out as the police chief. They're like, yeah, dude, you're crazy. You're out. Get him a straitjacket. He's out.
Right. The next morning, Mike defies his father's orders by going sailing with his friends.
A whole big group of friends. Like, it's a whole group of
Right,
sailboats.
and they were all going
Small
out to the
sailboats.
lighthouse or whatever,
Yeah.
where everybody gets drunk and parties
Yeah.
and everything like that.
Yeah. But unfortunately, his 10-year-old little brother Sean catches him,
Blackmails him.
and blackmails him into taking him to keep him from ratting him out to his parents.
Yeah. Marge, another teen, takes Sean with her, and they head out on 6 boats, going past a team of divers led by instructor Tom Andrews.
Shortly after submerging into the water, Andrews encounters...
Have we become a Jacques Cousteau?
It's just a little bit. Sorry.
Journey with me as we go through the coral reefs of Amity Island. Look there is a great white that has sunk the orca.
This one. Anyways, shortly after submerging, Andrews encounters the shark in a kelp forest. And panicking, he rushes to the surface, which causes him to get the bends.
Which,
And
if you don't know what that is where oxygen in your blood basically boils
yeah,
and can cause pain, discomfort, and
death. Yeah, and an embolism.
Yeah, if you come up too fast, they have to put you in like a pressurized chamber to level you out.
That's if you survive it.
If you survive it.
So yeah.
Later, the shark hits the boat of teenage couple Eddie Markhand and Tina Wilcox,
Tina! Say every time, you guys. Tina!
who are
Come
separated.
here! Need your brain!
No. My name's not fucking Tina.
Tina! I'm never gonna stop. Never gonna stop.
Yeah, can you stop hitting your anus? New microphones don't like that.
Tina!
Who were separated from the main group and mauled Eddie to death.
Yeah.
You know the.
He's like outside of the water and he gets fucking like just obliterated, but she doesn't die. Because they find her later inside the boat.
Yeah, Brody finds her.
Yeah. Pretty fucked up.
Shell shock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or PTSD. I guess it's PTSD. now.
Yeah.
Back
Either
then,
way.
it would have been
called shell shocked, yeah, which is essentially the same thing. Brody and his wife Ellen witness Tom's evacuation by ambulance and hear that the other divers suspect that something scared him down there, which is why he came up so fast.
Hendricks, who has been promoted to chief of police in Brody's stead,
Yeah.
tells them that Mike went sailing with his friends, so Brody and Ellen commandeer the police boat, aided by Hendricks to rescue them.
Yeah, I mean, Hendricks is still there, so I mean, like, it's like not
That's
really illegal, but
I mean,
like,
it's because Brody doesn't know how to fucking operate the boat.
yeah,
And
that makes sense.
And all that other stuff. And this is when they come across Tina's boat. And,
Tina!
And
I won't do it. I won't do it anymore this time. I promise. Pinky promise.
break it. I break your pinky.
Okay.
Not your broken pinky toe.
Yeah. Dislocated, not broken. Maybe broken. I don't know. I never had it x-rayed. Who cares?
Same difference. But yeah, this is where they find Tina and confirm that there is actually a shark in them waters.
Yes. Brody hails a passing boat to take Hendricks, Ellen, and Tina to shore while he searches for the kids.
Meanwhile, the shark attacks the group's boats, causing most of them to capsize or crash. Mike is knocked unconscious and falls in the water. One of those teams is actually Archie Cunningham from Christine. Did you know that?
No shit.
Yeah, it's the one. It's the one that he had on Chuck's, and he was like pumping the water out of his boat later, and he was like doing like the whole spiel about like my captain.
Yeah. Oh, Captain, my captain.
Yeah, that. Archie Cunningham from Christine.
How about that?
Stop smacking the
Stop
table.
smacking the table, Jenny. I do that a lot. I'm sorry.
Yes, you do.
I'm sorry. I'll stop. What about this? Sorry. I'll stop.
I know there's a rattlesnake in the woods. There's a snake in my.
All right. The only pair whose boat is still seaworthy then retrieve Mike from the water and leave the others to take him ashore. Sean and the others still remain adrift upon the wreckage. They basically kind of like tie all the
They
boats
tie everything together so they can stay afloat.
Yeah.
Harbor Patrol helicopter that Brody contacted earlier arrives to tow them to Cable Junction, a small rocky island, which was actually not an island.
Yeah, no, didn't they like put some barges together and just decorate them or something?
Yeah,
so that they could actually still use the float for the shark.
Something like that. But here's the thing, right? The rocks that they put on the barge were all made of plastic, so they were slippery as fuck.
Well, yeah. Ocean
then-
water on them?
And then at one point in time, the barge, like,
Just
broke.
fell apart.
Its cable broke and it was drifting out to the open
Oh.
ocean. So they had to go track it down.
Oops.
Whoops.
Oops, the day.
Anyway, it's a rocky island nearby which houses an electrical relay station that supplies power to Amityville.
Amity Island.
Amity.
It's okay, I did it last week too.
Last week?
When we were talking about this, I was like, we're going back to Amityville. I mean, no, we're not. We're going to Amity Island.
Actually, I think it's
I mean,
I think it's the original one. They actually show like the house
Oh,
from
really?
Amityville Horror.
Huh.
Because this is actually not Amity, it's Martha's Vineyard.
Right. But they did actually film on Martha's Vineyard again for this one, right?
Parts.
Okay.
Part-
but then, like, the water
parts-
stuff was done in, like, the
Florida.
Gulf? Yeah,
Florida.
in Florida, in the
Yeah.
Gulf.
Mhm.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
useless knowledge that you'll never need.
Yeah.
But we know it because you don't have to.
Yeah, now you know it. But so as this little helicopter is, like, latching onto the drift of boats to pull them to safety, the shark surfaces and latches onto the Chiapas pontoons, like the little water things.
The Chiapas pontoons?
The Chiapas pontoons. Get in the Chiapa. And capsizes the fucking helicopter and drowns the pilot. So...
There was actually a, I think it was a deleted scene where the helicopter pilot lived.
Really?
Yeah, he had like an air bubble in the
Lucky
cockpit,
dog.
but they cut it, so he did.
He did, as far as we're concerned.
did. The shark knocks Sean into the water, and Marge is eaten whilst saving him.
Poor Marge. Bye, Marge. Brody finds Mike and he informs him of the situation before Brody sends him off to safety.
Brody finds the others at Cable Junction. The cheering and jumping greet him attracts the shark, which attacks, causing Brody to crash the police boat into the rocky
Yeah,
shore.
he wasn't a very good driver anyways, so...
Well, no, and like when Hendrix was like telling him which way's Brody asked which way is Cable Junction. He's like, to the starboard, da 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 da. He's like, would you quit that shit? Just fucking point. I don't think he dropped the F-bomb because it's a G, but still.
Yeah, it is PG, isn't it? But this is before... It's PG.
Oh, this one is PG.
Yeah. And that was before the PG rating.
That was before the
PG-13.
PG-13 rating, because that was 84.
Yeah.
Which we discussed
Yep.
in length
On
this
many
channel,
occasions.
because we covered Gremlins one
Yes.
time, and that was one of the reasons.
Yes. So, using an inflatable raft, he goes out and taps an underwater power cable with an oar to lure the shark towards him, which they did show earlier in the movie that, like, sound waves...
not only that, but when they were dredging the waters where the speedboat blew up and everything like that, Hendrix accidentally pulled up the cable.
Yeah.
The same cable, not in the same location, but pulled up the same cable on the same fucking tow winch.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that was with him was like, fucking drop it.
Right.
You know?
That's electrified.
Right. It's electrified. You break that, we lose power to the entire island.
Right.
So Brody is aware of what this is. He's using the winch to try to pull the kids to safety up onto the rocky shore.
Right.
And everything like that. And it catches the electrical cable again.
Right.
And that's when he uses that to
Yeah. Like, hey, come here.
beat the oar against the cable to attract Jaws. Brucey.
Smile. Not Bruce.
No, this is like Brucey's evil twin brother that's looking for revenge.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh wait, no, that's 4. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because they make it very clear when they bring in their fake shark expert that sharks don't feel revenge. They don't have revenge.
Why the fuck did the shark follow her all the way from Amity down to the Bahamas in 4?
I don't know. We'll get there someday, maybe.
Maybe. Probably. We're covering 2. We're gonna do the other 2.
Yeah, I
eventually.
guess so.
The shark bites said cable whilst Brody is luring him to it by tapping it with the sound propagation through the waves and everything.
And right there in the middle of the ocean, he lights on fire. Full on flames, everything.
Well, they actually do like the camera shake and the,
Yeah.
the lightning, you know, the light,
Yeah.
not lightning, but like the light changes
Yeah.
to make it look like he's being
Yeah.
electrocuted,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
spontaneous sharkable combustion. Brody and the other survivors gather on Cable Junction to await rescue. At least he didn't have to swim his happy ass back
Yeah,
home
no
this
kidding,
time.
like that, like last time. And that is where we are going to leave Amity Island
And the Brody family for now.
for now. We will certainly be returning here again at some.
Well, not in the next one, because the next one is set in SeaWorld,
That's right, and it's in 3D.
because it was a gimmick of the 80s.
You know,
Make a
it
point.
sure was. It sure was.
So this is one of those films that I look back with like rose-colored glasses, because it's Roy Schneider.
I remember watching it as a kid and being like, I love this.
Right.
And watching it this time, I was just kind of like, no, this is fun.
The first one, fucking phenomenal.
Yes.
Absolutely phenomenal.
One of the scariest movies out there.
Pinnacle in cinema making, and it also became the first ever summer blockbuster.
Yeah.
This one, not so much. I mean, we do get Roy Schneider, Julian Gray.
Sure. Is that her name?
Gary, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Hendricks, the deputy, the mayor, all come back. John Williams does come back and do the score.
The score in this is really, really good.
It's
I
not
will
as good
give
as
it
the
that.
first one. It's
But
not
it's
as good as
pretty
the first
good.
one, but it
It's
is
pretty
good. And for the life of me, I always thought that John Williams didn't come back and do this, because the music sounds completely different.
It's definitely different, but you
It
can
sounds
hear
completely different, but I was pleasantly surprised to watch this again and see his name in the credits, and I was like, oh, I was wrong. Okay, well, I have a little bit more respect for it.
Yeah.
I wish Spielberg would have come back. If Spielberg would have come back, I think it would have been way better.
Yeah. Agreed.
But yeah, this is going to be a bloody machete down for me.
Is it?
Yeah. I do look back on this with fondness, but it is just not as good as the first one.
I would agree with you. I'll agree with. I was gonna say I'm kind of sideways on this one. I don't really have, but I will agree with you. Bloody machete down, because I feel like it's just way too much like the first one. It's really
it's
just kind of
a lot of
carbon copy
rehashing
in a lot of ways.
what happened in the first one, and like the whole paranoia that Brody ensues, the nobody fucking believing him because this is a tourist town. We need those tourist dollars, and all Brody's trying to do is save lives,
right? And like it's don't get me wrong, I don't know what they thought they were gonna do with 3 and 4, especially 4. My gosh. But I don't think that we needed anything after the perfection that was the first one. So bloody machete down for me as well.
Yeah, bloody machete down, and we will get that out of here. Let's see if I can not hit the camera this week.
Yes,
the last 2 weeks I've hit you guys in the face, and I apologize for that.
No, she's not sorry. Just don't let her apologize. Okay, well that one's out of here. Cool. What are we doing next?
We are going from the insanity of Amity Island to the insanity of Danvers Institution, also in Boston. In one of my all-time favorite psychological horror films ever laid to film. Do you know what we're talking about? Do you know what we're talking about?
I do know what we're talking about. We're talking about Session 9, you guys.
Y'all ever heard of Session 9?
If you haven't heard it, you need to go watch it right now.
Yes.
I mean
it is.
It's a straightforward story that will still mess with your head enough to where you go, what did I just watch? And it'll make you want to go back and watch it again.
So I remember renting this in 2002 or something like that.
I think it's from 2001,
Yeah,
right?
it's from 2001. But I remember renting it in 2002, and this affected me on a very deeply level because we're from Peoria, Illinois. Bartonville Insane Asylum is literally in our backyard.
Yeah.
And it just felt like
something that could happen
it felt like something that could happen in our area.
Yeah.
So it affected me deeply on an emotional level, on an almost spiritual level. So Pun intended, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, come back here next week when we dive into this. Watch it first, then come back here.
Yes. Until next time, make sure you stab the like button.
Slash that subscribe button.
And ring-a-ling the great bell so you don't get buried alive and you stay up to date on everything we are doing right here on YouTube. And until next time, we will see you all
In the afterlife.